All right. So Darnyelle, let's talk about just all these different experiences that you have and how they have led to this point in your life to where you've become an expert on helping others grow their businesses. So you've worked in direct sales with Mary Kay. You've worked in corporate marketing as well, as a VP in corporate. Can you talk about like how all those experiences have come together to shape who you are as a person?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it all started in corporate. That was my first job out of college. And I'm so glad that I started my career there because I really got to learn and understand business. I progressed really quickly up the ladder. I started an entry level customer service position. And within 3 years, I was a vice president, which is really cool. And I got to work in some great departments. I got to work in business development. I got to work in advertising and corporate compliance, as well as like customer service. I got to a full experience, if you will. And I'll be honest, like for me, this brown girl from the projects of Wilmington, Delaware, like the light came on in like the most amazing way to understand how to think like business people, right? And to not be so inundated in your small box of whatever it is that you can imagine in the world, but to be able to think on a global level. I had the opportunity to travel around the world as a part of my job and to look at, it was a financial services company. So to look at how other markets manage finances and how to build relationships with other organizations. And all of that literally leapt right into the starting of my business. So when I left my corporate job, I didn't know what I was going to do. I woke up one day and was like, this isn't it. I don't want to do this anymore. I had no plan. I don't advise that anybody else do this. And I quit my job without a plan. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I bet on me. And I knew that if I fell, I would land on my feet. And so I said, worst case scenario, I'm marketable. I've got amazing skills. I'm a Black woman. I can get another job, but I'll never know if I have what it takes unless I give it a try. And so I ended up, doing Mary Kay, which is so funny when I stop and think about it. I'm like, I can't believe I quit my good job to sell lipstick. But I did really well. Like after 5 months after I quit my job, I was picking up a pink Cadillac. So what I got from Mary Kay that I didn't get from my corporate background was sales, and sales authentically. Sales in a way that felt good to you and felt good to the other person. What I hear all the time, Lawrence, over and over and over again when I'm talking with entrepreneurs is, I don't want to feel salesy. I don't want to bother people. And because I had such an amazing training ground in Mary Kay Cosmetics, I'm able to help people to understand that it is as honorable to sell as it is to buy. And that you don't have to become someone different in order to help people to understand that they have a problem that you have the solution to. And in fact, you're being selfish if you have the solution and you keep it to yourself, right? I liken it to cancer. And, not to disrespect cancer, the disease that is killing people, but if you look up the word cancer in the dictionary, what you will find is disease. That's all it is, right? And disease is when something isn't working in the way that it was designed to work. So we could all say that we have the cure to a form of cancer or disease. And if we had the cure to the big C, none of us would keep our mouth shut. But because we have the cure to the little c, I say we shouldn't keep our mouth shut, right? And so taking my skills from corporate and my skills from Mary Kay and parlaying that into coaching and consulting really helped me to be able to break down the core components of business to these entrepreneurs that had this amazing skill set or this amazing heart tug or gift that they wanted to explore in the marketplace without really understanding how to do it in a way that would make sure that they didn't create a job for themselves. They didn't come up empty at the end of that service, and they set themselves up to really sustain themselves in business. And so that's basically what I've been doing over the years, is just taking what I learned in corporate, multiplying that by what I learned in Mary Kay, and then adding in a little bit of what I learned when I ran that business center for women, and just stirring it up right into the lives and businesses of my clients so that what they create is this amazing recipe for business growth and success.
No, I love it. And I like the way that you talked about the cancer analogy, because I think that you're right. There's a certain segment of even successful entrepreneurs who don't like to be salesy or who don't like the concept of sales, right? And I think that like there's this delineation. You have those people who follow like the tech startup type of world who, you know, think it's all about product. And then you have a lot of people from direct response marketing who think it's all about sales. And I think where the world is heading is like a combination and mixture of both, where, you know, you need to create an excellent product so that one that you believe in that actually is the cure for cancer. And then if you do that, know how to sell it to the best of your ability, because other people need to know or need to, I guess, experience what you have to offer. So, you know, one of my business partners, Julian Gordon, you know, he talks about, what does he say? He says sales is convincing people that they need help, or something to those lines. And I think that you're right. Sales is such an important part of business. And that leads me to my next question in terms of the components of business, right? You were talking about that. Sales is one of them. Can you briefly tell the audience what are some of the other components of business and things that they need to think about as they're getting started?
Absolutely. I would say mindset goes first. Mindset is how you win the inner game of success, right? Your strategies will never outperform the way you see yourself. So you've got to start by dealing with your mindset. From mindset, we then move into messaging, getting really, really clear about who you are, who you serve, and the problem that you solve for them. The universal law of business says, find a group of people who have the problem that you solve that are ready right now to pay for a solution to it. And the way that we find them is through using the right words. And those are the words that allow us to rise above all of the noise in this crowded marketplace that we're in and get right to the heart of the matter that the person is literally laying awake at night trying to figure out how to solve. So messaging would be second. And messaging is how you become known. It's what you want to be known for, right? When we think about some of the biggest and most powerful brands in the marketplace, we know who they are based on the messages that they fed to us through their marketing, through their advertising, to tell us that that's what we should believe about them. And so no stranger, as small businesses, we still have to get really clear about our message and then feed that message to our audience in succession, right? I always tell people you have to become a broken record. If you're unwilling to beat your horn the same every single day, then don't be an entrepreneur. So the second component would be getting your messaging. And yes, I do separate messaging from marketing. Messaging is how you get known, but marketing is how you get found. So we no longer exist in an economy where we go and knock door to door to find clients. Now we post a message online, right? Or we go live on YouTube and then our clients find us. So the goal is to make sure that you're using the right marketing strategies for your ideal clients to get found by them early and often. I recommend, while there are about 40 to 45 different ways you could be marketing, the average business should really only identify 5 to 7 that they're willing to build systems around so that they can consistently leverage those strategies to bring new leads through the door, right? If there is no lead, there will be no opportunity to sell. If there is no opportunity to sell, there will be no client. After we work on your marketing and get found by the clients we want to serve, then we're ready for sales, right? Sales is how we get paid. It's the way that we make sure that for the services we render to the marketplace and solving of that problem, we actually get an exchange that takes place. And as I stated earlier, it is as honorable to sell as it is to buy. And when you look at sales as an extension of service, then there'll be no way that you'll actually get salesy. Once you have gotten your mind right and you are known, found, and selling or getting paid on a consistent basis, Lawrence, then you're ready to build out your business building systems. What I find is that people start trying to create systems before they even know if they have anything to systematize. Until people are willing to pay you for the problem you solve, you don't even have a business. You have a really great idea until money starts to change hands. Once you start bringing clients on, now it's important for you to build out the systems that you're going to utilize, not only to serve those clients and bring new clients through the door, but to make sure that operationally your business is sound and set up so that while you are sleeping, you can still be earning money. And the goal in getting to scale is to not have to be the only person in your business. If it is fully reliant on you, it could die at any moment. The only way that changes is if you do the next step, which is build out a team. So we talk about talent optimization and how that is how you gain the competitive edge, right? Everybody who does what you do technically does what you do. So the only differentiator you will ever have is you and your people. How are you training up these people? How are you teaching them about your brand promise and your brand integrity and your brand equity in such a way that they are willing to shout from the rafters about your brand? Our goal is to find those people who want to help us to expand our footprint and help us to get in front of more people than we might have been able to get to on our own. And then last but not least, after we've done all of this work, and I'm probably making it sound much more easy than it is, then we're ready to start talking legacy. That's when we want to start thinking about succession planning or exit planning, because some of us think we're just going to run our businesses until we get on our deathbed and then they're just going to die. But you've created amazing intellectual property. You've identified some core systems that you can teach to other people or sell to other people so that the work that you've done continues to live on long after you've decided to take your shingle up from off the wall. And so we really want to make sure that we're looking at that entire continuum. And along the way, whether we're talking about marketing or sales or systems or building the team, each of those systems is a system within that system to make sure we have everything comprised in there that we need, that so that we make working happen easily and effortlessly for us. It's going to be work, but it doesn't have to be hard work if you take your time and do it right the first time.